In this video I'm going to show you how to make a Swedish tea ring. We're going to start off with 300 grams of strong white flour, which is needed because of the gluten content in it. We're adding a 7 gram sachet of yeast, which is going to be used to produce carbon dioxide and make the dough rise, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar to feed the yeast and to flavour the dough slightly, and a teaspoon of salt, which will add flavour but also control the production of gluten. We then need to get about 200 millilitres of warm water. It needs to be hand hot because otherwise you'll end up killing the yeast. And we are doing an enriched yeast dough, so we're going to add an egg in, which is going to add in an extra protein layer to our dough rather than just carbohydrates. So add your egg into a well in the middle and then add a small amount of your warm water and bring your dough together. So you're just going to use enough water to bring it together to a slightly soft and slightly sticky dough. So you might not necessarily need to use it all. You can see I've still got 60 grams or 60 millilitres of water left. You're then going to turn it out onto your work surface. If it's a bit sticky, maybe lightly flour your work surface, but you don't necessarily have to, and then you're going to knead it. And kneading is where you're developing the gluten. So the gluten is springy, coil-shaped protein that we find in our flour, and that is going to provide the structure of our bread. So it helps it to rise, and it gives us that springy texture. So as you've developed it, if you touch it, it will spring back up, and we know that that's then ready to leave to prove. So you're just going to put it in a greased bowl covered with a tea towel. You then need to prepare your baking tray. So you're going to line your baking tray with some baking paper to stop it from sticking, and you're just going to slightly grease underneath and on top of it as well. You're then ready to prepare your filling ingredients. So you're using some mixed fruit, 3/4 of a jar of mincemeat and some mixed spice, and this is just going to flavour your Swedish tea ring as part of your filling, so it adds to the appearance as well. Once you've left your dough to rise for possibly about an hour so that it can double in size, you're going to knock it back. So this is knocking the air out so that any carbon dioxide bubbles which were too big then get reduced down, and it just realigns your gluten strands. So you're just going to knead it briefly, and then you're going to roll it out into a rectangular shape, and you're looking for about the size of an A4 piece of paper. So use your rolling pin and keep on stretching it out so that you are getting that rectangle shape. Keep it moving, otherwise it will stick to your work surface. So make sure it is floured underneath and stretching it. Obviously, because of the gluten, it will spring back a little bit, so you just need to keep on rolling it to stretch out that gluten. Once you've got it to the right size, you're going to spread over your filling mixture and taking it so that it goes to about 1 centimetre from the edge, because your filling mixture will spread a little bit throughout cooking, so you don't want it seeping out of your mixture. And you're then going to roll it up along the long edge so that you're encasing your filling. That's then going to go onto your baking tray, and you need to stick the ends of your dough together. So you're just going to use a little bit of milk to stick your ends and seal them together so that it binds it and forms a bit of an adhesive. And then you're going to get a pair of scissors, so clean kitchen scissors, and making some cuts about 2/3 of the way through, about every 3 centimetres. This is then going to give the finish to your dish or your bread. This then needs to be glazed with some egg and some milk, so just mix that together to get a bit of a glaze. The egg is going to give it that shiny texture or that shiny appearance, and the egg and the milk together will give that golden colour. We then need to cover it with greased cling film, and we're going to leave it to rise for another 20 to 25 minutes for its second proving. So it's just going to enable it to grow again in size and regain that carbon dioxide that we lost through the kneading process and the knocking back. Once that's happened, you are going to glaze it again with some extra milk and egg wash, so any that you had left from before, and then you are going to sprinkle over some soft brown sugar, and this is going to enhance the colour and make it slightly crispy on the top as well of your bread, so it gives it that flavour and sweetness. This then goes in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes on 190 or gas mark 5 until it is firm to the touch. You're then going to prepare a glacé icing, so get some icing sugar and then just add a small amount of water at a time. Mix it in, don't add too much because it will go thin quite quickly, and you want it so that it's a drizzling consistency, so just keep checking to see if you just need to add a couple more drops, and it is doing it drop by drop. And then you are just going to drizzle that over your cooked bread. You could always add some toasted almonds and some glacé cherries as well to finish it off, but you're just going to drizzle your icing over, and there you have your finished Swedish tea ring.